whether reality is a dream or you are dream or reality. We are all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment we call now. Rise up, join in, raise the whole vibration.
Hello, I am back. Welcome to the Livestream of Consciousness. It is Thursday, July 17th. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been sitting in this seat here at the Livestream of Consciousness, which is kind of odd. I've been doing this broadcast, this transmission for the last 3, maybe 4 years, and I don't think I've rarely missed a spot, and it's an interesting situation and story for those of you guys who know. The show started with Jesse Blaze and myself, and we started bringing on guests, and he had some life going on, and I ended up being in the hot seat, and it's just been a crazy ride. And the last couple of weeks have been an incredible shift for me personally. I know for the world also, there's so much crazy shifting going on in the world, and I love to focus on the positive aspects of that shift that's happening, because it could seem a little scary and dark. There's a bit of fear and things shifting around as well, but I think it's all a reflection of what's inside. And fortunately for me, in the last bunch of years, I've really been able to find a light and love inside, and that part of that has been seeing the reflection outside of me change. The world outside of me became a much brighter place when the world inside of me became a brighter place. I don't even know what I'm saying. You see, I just show up and this stuff just comes out because I'm so happy to be here. So some of you guys know, Ninja Kitty, Mike, are we live? We are actually live. Yes, Ninja Kitty, welcome. And Angelo, welcome. Totally appreciate you guys being here as always. We are live. It's been a while. Anyway, the last couple of weeks, like I said, has been a whirlwind. I spent a week in Costa Rica, in the middle of a jungle at a retreat, doing really cool things like breath work. And I did the sauna, really hot sauna for 15 minutes, and then jump into an ice bath for 5 minutes, which was really tough, but so rewarding and so fulfilling. And a couple of crazy things happened during that trip. I jumped into a waterfall, or I went sliding down a waterfall. You're supposed to do it. It wasn't an accident. We went to this waterfall, and I went sliding down, and I was thinking as I was up there, I should take my glasses off and put them in my pocket or something. And I was just caught up in the moment, and I slid down and hit the water, and my glasses flew off my face. I lost my glasses in the middle of the jungle in Costa Rica with no spare. And I don't have the greatest vision. When my glasses are off, I can see pretty much 3 feet around me. But it was an incredible, I don't want to say gift, but I guess it was an incredible circumstance. It was an adverse circumstance, which I said to the universe, I like adversity because I like getting through adversity. And I had to make a choice, like I still had 2 more days in the jungle, and I couldn't see, and I had to deal with it. And I really still enjoyed myself. I made the best of it. It was really an incredible experience. As a matter of fact, I spontaneously decided, since I was with my partner, at the time I was calling her my partner, now I call her my wife. We spontaneously got married. We were so inspired by the energy of the jungle, the people that were with us on the retreat. There was a great a guy named Davy Joe Bonessi, who is an ordained minister. So I was just like, wow, what better person to do this. And Janice and I just had a quick discussion. It didn't take much thought. It was like, if we could do this here, should we? And it was just like, yes, we should. And so not only did that all happen, but it was a testament to creating your own reality, right? Because now I can say I got married in the Costa Rican jungle. Like, what a beautiful experience. Totally unexpected. It was just perfect. So Anyway, I don't mean to gloat and do all of that stuff, but I wanted to share it. I just feel like it was very significant, and I do hear my bowl sage over here as I'm speaking. Go, "Ooh." So many of you guys know I love to start the show with my magic bowl sage here. Hello, sage. And I just do a quick little clearing of the space. We take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. You guys know how that works. So just like concentrate on it. Just feel it going in. Hold it for a second. And let it out and let it clear. Like the simplest thing you can do is so powerful. So let's do another one. Nice deep breath in. Just hold it at the top. Hit sage, clear the space. Vibrate the frequency a little bit. Clear it out. I love that. So magic. I don't know why. I feel the sound. I feel it's like soothing to my soul. Oh, thank you guys for letting me do that, allowing me to do that. I hope that's as meaningful to you guys as it is to me. It feels so good. The vibrations are amazing. I remember the first time I ever heard a crystal bowl, and it sounded like it was coming from inside of me. It was pretty amazing. Did I say I have magic bowls? Yeah, sage is a magic bowl. I definitely connect to it. Mo Better, welcome. Wayne, Carolyn, good to see you out there. Marie, awesome to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody showing up. I appreciate it. I don't want to forget anybody. Marie saw some of the pictures. Yes, Costa Rica was magical. Anyway, all right. So I've set up the space. I found myself asking, as you probably often do, about the live stream of consciousness. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I love these amazing discussions about what is consciousness, right? But I've been doing it for 4 years, and I feel like we have a decent idea of what consciousness is and how we're all connected. I still love the idea of being able to bring people to this space, have them hold up their puzzle piece, and just explain all about their puzzle piece. It's like show and tell. It's like, I brought my puzzle piece in. This is who I am and what I do. And that's when we all see where we fit, right? Do we fit next to that person? Do we fit a little bit on this side of the puzzle? Doesn't matter. We're all still part of that big picture. And that's what the live stream of consciousness is about. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you intentionally being here, listening to this, receiving it, being a part of it, sending your energy, sending your love. Before I bring on my guest, Jennifer Rose, reminding me exactly where I was at in my speech. That helps. If you just type in hashtag live, if you're watching us live, that helps the algorithm know something's going on in the community. There's vibrations happening. Or if you're watching the replay, you can type hashtag replay. So if it's not Thursday, July 17th at 9:09 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time, then you're watching a replay. Anyway, so all of the business is out of order. I do see some more people popping in. I love that. Donna, what's up? Good to see you. So tonight's guest, I saw on another network. I love that there are spiritual people who all have kind of like aligned messages, creating these shows, creating these spaces, spreading the message, spreading the word with a lot of love, without a lot of fear, right? There are certainly lots of channels who are talking about conspiracy theories and things that are all valid things to talk about. It's just kind of the way that you want to present it, or at least for me. I just want to present, the world that I want to be in. I need to present that. So I do it with a lot of love. So Lara Starr is an amazing spiritualist. Oh my goodness, what's the word? Psychopomp, I believe is the new word that I learned. And she's just got such an amazing community. And tonight's guest, Erin Sunniva, was on her show, and I was watching, and I was just drawn into the energy. Again, that's how it happens, right? You start watching somebody and you're just drawn into the energy signature. It's an energetic exchange. Everything is an energetic exchange. So in the comments, I believe I was just like, oh, I've got to have you on my show. And we just connected right there. And so tonight I'm going to actually get to meet her and spend some time with her and learn all about the incredible Erin Sunniva. Welcome to the live stream of consciousness. Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on. Let me see. Is my volume up?
No, it was mine.
Okay,
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so pleased to be here.
I'm so happy that you agreed to be here, and you're here to share your essence with us, which I'm super excited about, because I remember experiencing it as a viewer of Lara's show, and again, I love that as human beings we're able to connect to ourselves to the point where we can now connect to others with love and kind of create this energy, right? That's the theme song, right? Rise up, join in, raise the vibration, and that's what we're here to do. So yes, so welcome. And I want to talk about your special puzzle piece. I have had people on the show who speak light language and people who kind of use frequency and singing, but you have a website called, I wanted to bring it up here. Let me just share my screen. You have a website called Divine Singing, which is pretty specific. And I wanted you to start there and tell us exactly what is Divine Singing and what it is that you do.
Well, Divine Singing was born out of a brain mapping session that I did to really figure out what I'm doing on this planet. And I've been singing my whole life, so that was a huge piece. I have a degree in vocal performance. It's a huge part of me. And as well as divinity, sovereignty, spirit connection, and the Divine Mother. And so in the work that I do, it just felt like, what is the work that I do? My work is to support other individuals in allowing the divine to sing through them. So how does the divine sing through you is kind of a little, catchphrase that I had on my site for some time. That. Yeah. So, hi friends. So, that's, I am a singer, and I do connect to the divine with my voice, but it's not just about singing. It's about the singing of the divine light through you, through your medicine, through your magic, through the work that you do, through your compassionate heart. Yeah.
I love that so much, because really that to me, and that's really the way that I see everything, right? That's really the same thing as what healing is, right? When you say you're a healer, it's not like you're going to heal somebody, but you're kind of reminding them how to heal themselves.
Reminding them perfection of their perfection.
Yeah, exactly. So that's again, it's just like another way to describe the same thing, which is how I see the connection of all of these different metaphysical modalities, right? And how beautiful they are, and now they're all, again, it's like, just like we're unique individuals, fractal expressions of our own connections to source. That's kind of what I feel like. Awesome. So I also love that you kind of made that connection, because I'm a musician as well. And I love the power of music on so many levels, and that is me playing music, that is me listening to music, there's so many different levels of music. And it wasn't really until I was older, because I played in bands when I was younger all the time, that I realized what I was doing was actually channeling.
Totally.
In those moments that I'm playing music, right? I mean, when you play music in a band and you're now connected to, I was the bass player, so I was connected to the guitar player and the drummer and the singer, and
you're the rhythm section. Not only, you are the foundation. You and the drums, you're the foundation. Nobody can play with. They could if they wanted to, but everybody needs a bass player, right?
Yeah, well,
not a frivolous instrument.
No, I totally hear that, but again, for me, it wasn't even that. It was just that moment, that connection. It was like, I would often describe it as a dance or as a conversation, right? Because it's like, yes, maybe I'm the foundation of it, but without the other players, there's nothing. I mean, it's a combination of the whole thing. It's that moment. It's being in that amazing moment where everything is perfect. Everything is as it should be.
That
Right?
really is the divine medicine of music. You're bringing together tangible and intangible, right? You're bringing together your intuition, your innate, heartbeat, right? You're syncing your consciousness up, your bodies, your hearts, all of the things. And I wanted to comment on uh, this, what you said in the beginning with the bowl, which
Mhm.
was, I love that you do that every time. And we all can just, and it felt so good to be like, oh yeah, I actually needed that to like
Yeah.
a little bit
Oh,
and
awesome.
going all day long. But what you said, well, why do I feel that? But it has been proven now, thank you, John Stewart Reed, that music, sound itself is physical. It is literally a physical thing that is penetrating our bodies. We do actually perceive it physically.
Mhm.
So, and it's just fascinating once you enter into the realm of sound healing and sonic the sonic universe,
Sure.
and what's available to us, and how our bodies respond. And it's just, so thank you for your work with
Oh,
the music and bringing it into this space.
thank you for receiving it that way. That brings me right into something that I'm really fascinated in, and I'm glad you mentioned it that way, because for me, I think we're in a very special time right now that if you are paying attention, right, and you're paying attention to love, and not to fear, there are some things going on with humans and science. Our knowledge is at this new level right now. Forget AI. Let's talk. That's a separate conversation, right? But
Sure.
but the idea of quantum physics and
Mhm.
and some of those things that are going on now. I can remember seeing um, my first view of cymatics many years ago, right, where there was a black metal plate. They put some sand on the metal plate and they ran a violin bow along the side of the plate. That was like the very early
Right.
introduction to it, right? And it was very obvious to me. It was very evident, like, look, sound is actually moving matter in physical ways. It's vibrating the sand in a physical way into these intricate patterns, that also had this kind of mesmerizing light language effect on me. Like, okay, there's a message there. I'm not sure what it is, right? My intelligence is not quite there yet, but I feel a message, right? There's something being said in that pattern. And so that really began my fascination with the idea of sound healing, sound as a, like, they're talking about using sound to heal cancer, right? Like certain frequencies, you can tune to certain frequencies that, scientifically relate to the cancer cells
Yeah.
and negate it. Like, it's just amazing. So let's talk about that. I mean, is that a big part of your studies and like your day-to-day, you know?
Yeah. Well, here's the journey. This is the journey story.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because I'm a trained, I love how I like pet myself when I say I'm a trained opera singer. Okay. So that's the diva. That was the ego right there who's like petting herself. But the journey has been shifting from being the performance, right? Like being there for my own, receival of appreciation for whatever I create. Shifting from that, thank you, grandmother ayahuasca,
Okay.
who pulled the critic out of me,
Hmm. Mhm.
and forced me into. I mean, I welcomed it, right? But
Sure.
purge this gigantic ego that was built up in school, right? Like we're forced to criticize ourselves every which way in order to be the best, you know? And so from that, shifting into singing for healing or singing for moving the medicine or whatever the intention is, it took time. And so plant medicine opened that up, and traditional indigenous ceremonies that I was incredibly privileged to be a part of, South and North America. And in these traditions, song is driving the journey, driving the medicine.
Yeah.
And so what a lesson for me, you know, and I spent 15 years in that realm, as well as studying with High Priestess and, you know, connecting with other forms of sonic medicine and realizing, oh, my voice is not just for singing songs, right? My voice is actually penetrating people's pain. My voice is actually, because I have trained my body in such a way that I can be in the Body Mind Expo, which I was at one point, using my voice to clear energy for people, and I was heard all the way across, you know, the space.
Wow.
So, and people saying, thanks for doing that, you know, and it's like,
That's
oh,
amazing.
yeah, you're welcome, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I have also a responsibility to this instrument, right? Like when we realize that we have a gift, that gift is not to serve ourselves. It is to serve the divine. It is to serve the universe, the evolution of humanity, whatever it is, to facilitate the healing. So yes, I have light language that comes in and moves through, and that also takes things to the next level. But sound and sound healing, it has been integrated into my sessions, into my alchemy. So I'm using my voice to bring your light codes to you, to help you restore your being. It doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm just the medium.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to relate that to my experience of the past week, right? When we were doing breath work.
Yeah.
And the thing that was interesting about breath work was there was a specific technique that we started, the circular breathing technique. But the facilitators who were working with everybody as they were walking around intuitively guided each individual through what they needed, which wasn't necessarily the same. Right. So I can remember the person hearing the person next to me being guided to breathe in a very slow rhythmic pattern, where then I was told, speed up the breathing, faster, you know, and I was brought to where I needed to be differently than the person next to me. And I was fascinated by this too, because the facilitators were kind of like you're saying, you intuitively use your voice. So I guess my question is it different for everybody? Like, I'm imagining that it is. I'm imagining
Absolutely.
what comes through for one person might be completely different.
Absolutely. Well, sometimes it might sound the same, right? But there's different information in it, right? If you don't know how to read code, if you just look at code, you're just going to kind of be like, yep, that's code. Right. So everything is, you know, is personalized in the moment, because I'm not trying to formulate anything. I'm not trying to say, oh, well, let's bring in this very specific thing. It's like, I'm just, you know, channeling. Right. And so there's also the aspect of where I do very specifically call forward your higher self, your soul, to sing your soul song to you. And that is very unique. And the light language will probably be very unique to you and not so much to me. So that is a little bit different. That's a unique session and not necessarily, my spiritual alchemy sessions. It's a medicine song session. And so then it becomes even more about you and your energy, the frequencies that you require, and the light codes that have been waiting for you.
Wow. So you got me fascinated now, trying to imagine what this session is like. Is it a call and repeat kind of thing, or like?
Well, I was wondering if I should have hooked up my system tonight. And I can do really, really easily, but I actually have a Boss RC 505.
Okay.
So
tell our audience what that is.
that is a what is this? 5-track looper. And
Awesome.
I married a producer. Hallelujah.
Awesome.
And so this was actually my birthday present. I got a brand new one this year because I had a 13-year-old one before.
Nice.
And so I sing with myself. I create a choir of light.
Oh my God, I love it.
And I sing over that.
I love it. I love it. So just, I guess, for the audience, I'm personally familiar with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I find it to be, I love that you even said that, because it was just kind of, you just shed light on the idea that specific technique is like, it's a very specific thing unto itself. I don't know how to, I don't even know what word to use for it, but it's a very specific way to express yourself. And the tools are the same, but I've heard many people using loopers and they don't necessarily sound the same. You can have one completely different result from somebody using a looper kind of technique than other people. And I would say it's always really fascinating and engaging, because I think it's like, as a listener to a looper, you're listening to the whole thing kind of build and start from nothing. You're listening to the creation. You're seeing it kind of become alive. You're watching the life happen, which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know what it would take to set it up, or if you want to go through, maybe, I don't know what you can do, even just.
Well, maybe if you want to take me off stage and I can set it up, it'd take like 2 minutes, and I can just make sure that levels are good, and then and I can wave and let you know when I'm ready, and you can bring me back in. How about that?
I would love to do that. I think my audience would really appreciate it. I know it would definitely make awesome short form content. So,
and I also want to say hi to your beautiful audience. And people have been saying hello, and I have not said anything. Hello, everyone.
Yes. A lot of people jumping in here. I'm just going to kind of click through them. Everyone. Yes. Thank you guys. Always. I love the energy that you guys bring is important. All right. I'm going to definitely click mute on you. So you're muted right now. So you don't need to worry. And you know what, I'll give you the courtesy of, so people aren't watching you, I'll put you off the stage, so people are just looking at me. Again, this is awesome. I'm excited. I feel like this is what I asked the universe for. Is I want to evolve the show. I want it to be a little more interactive. I want to present some more cool things to you guys, and I'm a big fan of looping. Looping, I guess, that's what you would call it, loopers. I like loopers. I'm a fan of loopers. Again, it's a very specific way to express yourself. Just briefly, I'll explain it. Was that a thumbs up, like you're ready? No. Okay, that was a thumbs up for loopers is a good word. Okay, so looping is, it's been around for a while, right? So you could always sing into a piece of equipment and it will record you and play you back. That's been available for many, 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 many years now. But you could now loop that and tell it, okay, I want to do it to this time, right? You set up a tempo, and then you record a bit of yourself saying looping, looping, and it will just keep looping. And then maybe you'll hum something, and then you'll play that behind, and it will hum, and then you could even harmonize with yourself. now that you've got yourself recorded. So it's just an amazing audio technique that musicians, I first discovered it with musicians, but now I see it's done in spirituality. It's done in all sorts of ways. Sound healing is an amazing iteration of it. Especially people who I'm imagining like Erin, who are really in tune with the different spiritual resonances in their voice and what they mean, right? Like there's certain frequencies, I'm sure, that have effect on certain vibrations and certain things. So and then other techniques like I've been seeing people who can sing multiple notes at once. I forget the name of that. It's like oh, she's raising her hand in the back room. She can do it. That's awesome. I forget the word. She's going to tell us the word. Are you ready to go? Yes. Thumbs up. You're ready to go. I'm going to bring back Erin, and I'm going to unmute
Post the
you.
level. Just make sure I'm not too loud.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
You're talking about polyphonic singing.
Polyphonic singing. That's what I was talking about. Wow.
Can you hear
I
it?
could hear that. Yeah, I love that. Hold on. I'm going to actually go into my audio settings, and I'm just going to see if there's something I can do for you so that it doesn't like duck you out. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it will.
Yeah, and I can control the level on my end if that happens as well.
Okay. So I turned off reduce mic background noise. No, you don't have headphones on. Okay, so I'm not gonna. Oh, you do. So I can turn off this echo. Are you? No. Yeah. See, now it's echoing. I'm gonna turn that back on. All right. The echo cancellation is off. All right. Let's give it a shot. Let me make you bigger. Whoop. There we go.
So, so my question is, what is the intention? What is the request?
That's a good question. I want my audience to experience a connection. I want them to experience a moment of really feeling love and connection to everybody else who's listening.
Okay. Beautiful. just some light energy this evening.
Wow. That was really nice. That was really amazing. I love the chorus that builds up, the droning sound that just kind of builds and keeps you afloat there. It's awesome. So you were talking about light language. Is there any specific language, or that is just kind of all intuitive?
It's, light language is really interesting. It's funny because there are individuals out there who have the ability to be like, oh, this is Andromedan and this is Pleiadian, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think mine is dragon language. I'm not really quite sure.
Cool.
But I can give you an example. Is it still going? No, there we go. Yeah, I can give you an example. I'm just going to share some divine mother energy. I'm a priestess of the mother. I'm a Magdalene priestess. And so we're in the field of Magdalene feast. And so I've been channeling her all day long with my podcast this morning. And I had my mediumship circle afterwards. And so she's here.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Brenda. Io alhargediamo sokalarienta katayosh. Amalarriele diamo koi afalhargedia sanda mohalargedio. Shul hargediamo koi avalerian alarrocoso tiaf alhargediamoya. Afu satiamo ko shokolariandas. Aful hargediamo koi alaharraele diamanaya. Sotia falar gidiamo soto ya. Afala. So I have a language, so light language is unique to you. It's unique to the individual.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be mimicked. It cannot be copied, right? And it is, sometimes it changes. It definitely changed here. It was a little bit different. I could hear words that don't normally come out, and I do believe that there is a particular language that my soul speaks. Mm-hmm. And I connected to my dragon because the more that I connected to my dragon, the more clear the language came for me, if that makes sense.
Of course, it does.
Yeah. You heard the little growl, and what she does too is that she's moving energy, like, as she's speaking through me, she's changing fuses. So she comes in and she'll go through your whole being and literally just pull out old energy and put light in while speaking. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Among other things.
That's really incredible. It's really it's really fascinating to me too, I think, and let me just switch this up here. It's fascinating to me too, the ideas that you're bringing up about a dragon realm, right? You didn't specifically say that, but I'm familiar with these ideas, and for me, I always grew up, and even when I was young, something inside me told me that imagination was where the real realms were. That's where not that that's where reality exists, but imagination didn't mean that it wasn't real. Imagination was another type of reality.
Right. Not necessarily that you're making it up, but that you're accessing something.
Right. Exactly. A great way to put it. And so I think it's fascinating how now there are people who are coming out because it's less and less crazy seeming, right? Now that people are coming out with, I've spoken to the Galactic Council, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, 15 years ago, I wasn't buying that. You know what I mean? I was like, I wasn't judging it. I was like, hey, if that's your thing, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, cool, but recently, again, everything's starting to come together. Everything is starting to really make sense as I get older. I become more aware of what I believe reality to be. And we're kind of actually, I think we're kind of doing this backwards, right? So my show, this particular show, started with the idea of I wanted to ask everybody, what is consciousness? Because I knew that every answer was going to be different, and I also knew that every answer was going to be correct, because it's a different perception. And it would only help me to understand what is consciousness, to understand other perspectives of it, and not just be like, well, I know what it is, and that's it, right? To not be able to deny other people of their experiences. So normally I ask that question at the beginning of the show, and we just kind of jumped into it. But now that we've talked about this, and now that we've seen your connection to these different kinds of energetic sources, or energetic fractures of source, fractals of source, what is consciousness to you, and how does it connect everything that we're talking about?
As the very first thing that came to me, consciousness is the creation. It is the heart of the mother. We got to receive the mother today, and my beautiful group in my Patreon, in my Dragon Tribe. And she was just going on and on about there is no end to you, right? And that the consciousness, excuse me, consciousness is like this very brief moment of powerful expression of your soul. If you consider the infiniteness of your being, we're here in this body experiencing consciousness, right? A certain form, a certain frequency of consciousness. And so, my interpretation of the question is like, oh, you mean human consciousness? Right? Okay, well, it's a blip in the screen, right? Consciousness, the stream of consciousness, the ocean of consciousness is existence itself. That's how I
great. Perfect. Like I said, there's no wrong answer, and that's a great way to put it. I love the question because it's all the same, right, to me. So like I like hearing the different ways that people describe it, and I think that's perfect. And then the other question I usually ask my guests is it kind of helps explain, or at least get into who they are and why they are who they are. And that is, if you have a specific moment or a specific story where you knew that there was more to existence than kind of what you were shown, as a child, or I don't know, maybe you grew up in a supernatural family and were shown certain things, but you know what I mean? Like what we're taught, on a day-to-day basis is reality. And the moment that you kind of realize, wait, there's more to it.
I have a very powerful, intimate, private experience that is coming to mind.
Okay.
I'll share part of it.
Okay. Yes, I was going to say, you don't have to share it, but it sounds like it's coming through. It sounds like it wants to come through a little bit.
It's what came first, and I can't think of anything else. And so I remember how poignant this moment was. I think I was 24, and I was at Beltane at a community pagan ceremony in Southern Oregon on a community land, and on my own in the forest after taking mushrooms together and dancing the maypole and our traditional Beltane ceremony, and discovering myself and realizing, oh my God, I am a woman. I have a responsibility to my body that I chose. there's a womb here. There's a whole reproductive organ system here. And I better not let this go to waste.
Mm.
And so that was the first connection that I made from physical to energetic to the mother.
Wow.
Realizing that I had the potential to be mother.
Right.
And it was also on that land about a year later that I had a conversation with the mother who told me when I would be a mother. And all of the circumstances which were exactly correct.
Wow.
And like everything, it would happen when I was 30, would be with a friend and not my life partner. And exactly what happened.
Wow.
I mean, I was with someone, and then it fell apart after the child was conceived. I was like, okay, well, that's what it is. And we're, and we're still friends as we co-parent, and she's 15 years old now.
Right. Wow.
And my life is devoted to the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the initiator of me being like, oh my God, I'm connected to everything. Just by touching myself.
That's amazing. No, that's amazing. And listen, I think, and that's important, I think, to undoubtedly know your own kind of purpose, right? And just kind of feel like, okay, now I get it. You know what I mean? And Debbie O is out there. What's up, Debbie O? Good to see you. Angelo is asking if you have any connections with a falcon or an eagle.
Oh, great. Well, with the eagle. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As far as predator birds go, actually, the great horned owl is my family totem. It shows up for every child of mine.
Wow.
This bird arrived on my first child, I have 3, my first child's 4th birthday, which is very significant in the Native American traditions. You usually have a ceremony for yourself before you're 4. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't had that for Magdalena. And it was on her birthday. We went to the wild animal sanctuary, and on our drive home, we passed a big bird, and I said, stop! And I was actually telling her birth story at the time.
Wow.
And so I have the whole other wing and some of the tail feathers. And so that was the first bird that showed up. My son was assigned the great horned owl at school for his totem at his Waldorf school. And then my youngest child also is just constantly picking out owls for herself and finding owl feathers. So, and funny enough, I am one who walks between the world, and I escort souls home into the light. So it's not lost on me why the owl is with me.
Which, by the way, is the answer to the trivia question, psychopomp. The word I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Yeah. And that's what Erin is talking about. Amazing. And Kim says, wait, that's really weird. I was 30. He's not my life partner, and my baby is 15 now. There you go. Soul sisters. There you go. That's awesome. So you mentioned Beltane, you mentioned pagan lifestyle. Is that how your family grew up, or is that something you found later and you said you were 24?
Yeah, I found that at the end of college. At the end of my junior year, I had one of those, kismet moments. I was doing a musical at the time, and I met one of the other actors at the very beginning, and we were like, oh my God, I know you. Like lightning bolts,
Yeah.
And so, so we connected, and he's like, I got to bring you to the land. So he brought me to the land, and I experienced, I got to experience Samhain was my first community ritual. So that's Halloween. So it was just like blast off from there. I was raised, my mother's lineage is very pagan, but we're descendants of Puritans. Okay. So we were actually my family was on the Mayflower. And if you know William Booth, he was the elder of the community. It's my ancestor on my mother's side.
Wow.
And then, but my father is hypnotherapist and a bishop. And he's from a sect called the Wandering Bishops. And so they're kind of like a private sect, you know, they don't preach, they're not, you know, organized or anything like that. So I was actually raised with the presence of Jesus and Mother Mary as, hey, these are our invisible friends, and you can, you know, reach out to them whenever you need.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, okay, you know, and I would take communion with him, and sometimes, you know, Christmas and Easter we'd go to church, but I had no idea what was going on, right? But it was more my experience of my father bringing that spirit in for me to experience connection. But I grew up psychically very open as well, hearing voices, seeing my guardian angel, things like that. Yeah.
And your family was receptive to that?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, my father was very supportive. I mean, I grew up with him reading tarot and doing I Ching at the kitchen table.
Cool.
You know, and not too long ago, I asked him, like, well, what do you do with the tarot anyway? Like, what's the point for the tarot? He says, oh, that's how I check in on my clients. That's how I check to see how they're doing after sessions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Energetic kind of Rolodex, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love, that's why I love this space so much, because I feel like there are so many different ways to connect with energy, to receive energy, to transmit energy, right? To interpret energy, you know, and some of them are, you know, through totems like tarot cards, and some of them are through singing, which is like an act, you know, an act of your own body, right? Which is that I love being able to connect to source through that. That seems more intimate to me. I like that. But again, I love this space. I love all of the amazing different things that people do to reach different people, and I love that, you know, some things reach some people and some things don't reach people. Even that little intricacy of it, I love that. I think it's like, because when you see it happen, it's that much more authentic for me. I experienced a couple of moments over this last week in Costa Rica, where my wife she gets messages, and she's very, very shy. She calls herself the quiet healer. She's very introverted, but I found she's really getting in touch with it so much that when she gets those messages, she's more drawn to say, hey, are you open to a message? And she'll ask, and she'll actually give the message, and then to watch it unfold, you know, when it's so accurate, and it's like, oh my God, how did you know that? And I'm just like, I don't know how this all happens. I just know I love watching it. I love being around it. You know, I love feeling the energy exchange and the healing that happens, you know, when somebody who you would expect not to know anything about you knows this little detail, that not only is it a little detail that they wouldn't know, but it means something, and it triggers this thought or a feeling like, oh my God, now this makes sense to me, right? This thing I've been carrying around forever and not understanding, all of a sudden is it's like a conduit, right? You've opened up these conduits in other people just by delivering a message. That's awesome. I feel like we've only scratched the surface here of who you are and what you do. So I'm going to have to ask you if you want to come back, and maybe we'll get more specific and drill down into some specific things. But thank you so much for that awesome performance, and sharing that with my audience. I saw a couple of people saying that they felt an angelic presence, and you sounded like an angel.
Yay.
And I love that. I love the ability to be able to do that here live, over the internet, and not spreading hate or fear, but spreading love and energy and all good stuff.
Yeah. It's a joy for me as well. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'd love to come back. Thank you.
Awesome. Before I put you in the green room and say goodbye, do you have any words of advice, any words of love, any jokes? You know any good jokes? I don't know anything.
I don't know very many good jokes. But I would just say that we, us being at this very pivotal time, this very transformative time that we're in, we truly have the capacity to level up every single day. And if we take the time to honor our energy, ground ourselves, and connect to the divine, like we literally actually need to be connecting to the divine on a regular basis in order to maintain our sanity, our health and wellness, so I support people with that. I'm here to help you maintain that, and also just to honor you in the place where you are. Please honor yourselves. Please keep listening to that very quiet voice that's always speaking to you. You just gotta shut the fuck up. Thank you.
I love that so much. I love that so much. And just, I hope you take this the right way, because when you said that we should all take a moment to connect to the divine, and it's important to do that every day intentionally, right? Even just for a moment, even that breath that we took at the beginning of the show, that was the moment, that was the opportunity. And I want to kind of add, and this is just my opinion, maybe you agree, that when you're saying you're connecting to the divine, you're connecting to the divine within yourself. You're connecting to yourself. You have the divine within you. And Debbie's asking if you have a YouTube and where we can follow her. Divinesinging.com is going across the bottom of the screen.
Oh, wait, is it Divine Sunniva? No, it's Divine Singing. Sorry.
What is that?
Is youtube.com / it's Divine Singing, not Divine.
Oh, not Divine Sunniva. Okay, I gotcha. So
That's my
yeah.
Instagram handle.
Is there a link on your website? That I was just basically saying the website's at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I mean the website.
Yeah. So go to the website. There you go. There's links on the website.
That's awesome. I feel like I am the news of the day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You are the news of the day. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And don't go away. I want to say goodbye to you personally, but I'm just going to put you in the green room for a second and say goodbye to my friends, and we will see you again soon here. Nice. Wow, I haven't done this for a while. It's been a couple of weeks. I forgot about at the end. I need to kind of reset myself and let it all in and let it all out. The moment that we just had. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Erin, for sharing your beautiful gifts with us. I've got Miguel Gonzalez coming up on Holding Space on Tuesday. Let me open up my calendar real quick here and see what I've got on Thursday. I don't, I was slacking with the bookings right before I left, and I don't know if I've got anyone booked specifically yet for Thursday, so I can't tell you who's going to be here. I do know that there's always somebody amazing here, and it's always an amazing time. At least it is for me. If you have a story or you feel like you have some gifts you want to share, please reach out to me and let me know. I would love to have you on the show. I would love to share your puzzle piece. Let me see if I think I made a banner with nope, I did not. Let me just pop that up real quick here. I'm going to make a new banner with my email address, which is mrz1@aol.com. Let me just, hold on a second. Struggling with the live production here. mrz1@aol.com. Save that and show that at the bottom of the screen. So there's my email address. I did this on Holding Space on Tuesday. If you want to reach out to me to be a guest, if you want to write me a little note, I will read it here live. I want to have a little notes from the readers section, evolve the show a little bit. I want people to get more involved. We are a collective. I see my reflection in each one of you guys when I interact with you, and it's just an amazing place to be. So there you go. There's my email address. Did I have to buy another set of eyeglasses? I did. This is new glasses. I ordered them on Thursday right after we got back. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get them in Costa Rica, so I just went online and I ordered them, and they were here by Tuesday. So I had a spare set waiting for me when I got home. Debbie, thank you for asking and caring. That's awesome. All right, kids, folks, people, fellow aspects of Source. It was good to spend some time with you. I will see you guys next week. Peace.
This is the theme song for the live stream of consciousness. You gotta ask yourself whether reality is a dream or you are dream reality. We are all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment we call